How did Ryan Trahan go from selling water bottles to selling candy in over 1,300 Targets across the United States, making over 8 figures in revenue per year? Let's get into it. I'm so excited for this video. Can we all just give a round of applause for Ryan Trahan? But first of all, I want to give you some backstory. Ryan Trahan didn't actually invent Joyride. You see, Joyride has a parent company called Project 7, and Project 7 was created by a man named Tyler Merrick. And he created that company in 2008 called Project 7. And so this is a little bit of what his gummies and his candy used to look like. After about 14 years, Tyler decided to rebrand Project 7 into Joyride in 2022 and to begin developing a new type of candy that was plant-based and low sugar. He already had some non-GMO healthy things going on, but he wanted to rebrand. In 2023, Joyride launched a new candy that was vegan, but they knew that they needed someone that can really carry the brand. Both Tyler and Ryan were based in Austin, Texas, and they both have very similar beliefs, and Tyler thought that Ryan had brand alignment. Brand alignment is when the content creator and the brand share the same values. So Joyride actually reached out to Ryan's team 1 year before Joyride initially launched to speak about partnership. And the reason why I say partnership, well, we'll get into that. I'll let you wait. We're going to talk about everything. We're going to talk about the product development, what type of team members are involved, how they manufactured the product, how they actually get it into stores, marketing tactics that Ryan used. You're going to hear the whole story here. So go ahead, drop a like on this video, and if you like it, subscribe and share it with a friend that wants to start either content creating or developing products. So this is a little bit into what their products used to look like before Ryan Trahan. Just to keep things clear so you know, the reason why they did partnership is a little bit different from a brand sponsorship or an endorsement, meaning that Ryan took an equity stake in the company, which we'll talk about later. This was smart of Ryan as a content creator because Joyride already had retail distribution in multiple retail stores like Target, and they already had manufacturing capabilities, whether they manufacture in-house or they have usually a contract manufacturer doing things for them. I just love this guy. Well, not that much, chill. So anyways, in 2024, I believe it was February, Ryan announced that he is now the co-founder and COO of Joyride, which means, like I said, he took an equity stake and a leadership role in the company to allow him to shape the brand. This means that he's in it for the long term. It's not just a cash grab, and he's going to get way more money if this company either is acquired by a larger company or goes public on the stock market. Imagine a company comes to you offering you to pay $100,000 to promote their brand over 6 months. But imagine a company comes to you to own their brand with them for the next 6 years. And then you take out quarterly dividends or biannual dividends of the revenue. Plus, you get money at exit, meaning when you sell your equity stake or when the company gets acquired. Instead of making $100,000, you probably make $10 million, maybe even $100 million, depending on the brand, depending on the creator, depending on the negotiation deal, the deal that was negotiated. So he's going to he contributed to the product development, he contributed to the marketing campaigns, which we'll cover in a little bit, and even a little bit of the package design. So like I said, he negotiated equity share. This means that the creator, Ryan himself, he either put money in to get stocks and shares of the company, or he negotiated sweat equity, which means that, hey, I'm going to work for this amount of time, which is typically referenced as a vesting schedule, in order to earn the equity that you're giving me. Meaning instead of him giving millions of dollars, he might have just said he'll give his time and energy and skill set. Since Ryan is a COO, meaning he's in charge of all things creative and marketing, it's likely that he only needed to put his expertise in there, since he was literally the face of the brand. But I don't know. This is a big jump for Ryan. It's not all about cash, and if it is about cash, it's about long term, not short term, because he's basically skipping payment now for the long-term revenue that he can be making as he grows the brand, leveraging his current audience size. So when the product was done being manufactured, Ryan promoted the product in a video where he said it was like his last video of YouTube, his last upload. Everyone was scared, even me. I'm a subscriber. Allegedly, this video even took him about 6 months to produce. He had a full cinematic scene. People reference it as a Super Bowl commercial. So amazing. He tricked me with the title. I almost cried. And he even has a movie poster that was on sale. This was all part of his marketing campaign, which I'm going to go in deeper shortly. But yeah, let's get to it. These are the movie posters that he sold on the website for about, I believe, $25. This is good because not only did the video hype people up that he was launching a candy, but it also allowed them to own something and take it home to remember, hey, I'm going to buy some Joyride. Imagine looking up at this poster as a fan and remembering, hey, I got to go buy some more candy. This helped with excitement, inclusion, the fans will feel ownership. It's just amazing. I just love these posters. I didn't get to get one, but I wish I did. So let's continue. I have a lot planned for you that I would love to share. So after this video came out, soon Ryan Trahan launched D2C. D2C stands for direct to consumer, meaning he wasn't yet in Target, but he was on the website, joyridesweets.com. And they launched with a sour strips pack, variety pack of 4 different flavors, priced at about $25, and they sold out in less than a week. It's very common for brands to start off D2C, and that allows you to do a lot of things. Instead of going directly to a retail store saying, hey, I'm launching this brand, I would like you to put it in stores, you're going to have to negotiate, meaning you're going to have to negotiate the quantity that they're buying, the amount of locations, the planogram, which I'll explain to you later, and different things like that. And it's harder if you don't have a proof of concept. I'm sure a lot of large creators come to these retail distributors and say they want to put their brand in stores, but a lot of these creators don't have a D2C website to show revenue for the last 12 months, for the last 6 months, for the last 3 months. So launching D2C is good because it allows them to test demand, gather data, and use that data to leverage in negotiations to make the odds in their favor when they're approaching retail giants. It also allows them to own their audience, meaning they're going to collect data on their customers, their emails, their name, their location, what flavors they prefer, put them in automated email sequences. It also allows them to see, hey, does this product suck or is it great? Before being like out in the real world, the real public, meaning that someone that they don't know could still buy their product from Target. But they sold out in less than a week. So that's pretty amazing. So not only did they launch D2C, I want to show some cool things that Ryan did. He really invested in community engagement, pretty much saying that telling people to tag Target inside of the comment section so that Target can see the enthusiasm and the demand. This also helps with negotiation. It looks very easy to some people, but think about it. This was a strategy. This was a plan that they took many months to build out. It wasn't just a quick post. He was thinking, how do we get the community engaged? Plus, how do we get Target to see our value, to see our power? So he told fans to start tagging Target with questions like, hey, when are we getting Joyrides in stores? He also told his fans to make videos about Joyride when they got the actual product, basically sharing their journey, things like that, making a video with it, inviting them to be creative, inviting them to be a part of the community. And he offered them to get a lifetime, or maybe it was a year's worth of Joyride. So just, I can label all the things out there, but a lot of you probably know scarcity, community involvement, hype. This was amazing. So this is just a little look at things I found online. Telling them that also they get to vote. They get to vote on the flavors, which also enhances community involvement. So this is probably happening at this point because they were already likely in discussion with Target, meaning they were talking to Target about, okay, how many locations are you going to be at, which locations, and a lot of this data they probably leverage from D2C regions because Ryan got into 1,300 out of the 1,900 locations, which is amazing. That's pretty cool, first of all. That's almost all of them. But think about it, they had to choose which locations. There's still 600 that they weren't in, which means that there's a reason for that. And it's likely because of the data that he got from going D2C first. So, anywho, let's go down and look more at his involvement in interactive campaigns. He also made a video where he involved his allegedly first customer of D2C. So he's rewarding his fans for buying from him, where he went and visited the fan and made a video posting him visiting the fan. Um, Here's a post that I found of someone actually posting Joyride in bed with a toy. Um, Community involvement is so important, and I'm sure Target saw all of this. Well, I'll tell you who actually saw it at Target, actually. So soon, June 15th, Joyride Day, they launched in 1,300 Target stores. Congratulations. Um, these are some photos of his fans. Basically, he also started this initiative called The Climb. And a lot of this seems fun, but Ryan is an intelligent, creative man. Look, this was a whole photo shoot. It wasn't just, hey, hashtag The Climb for a chance to win. It was more than that. It was a large and concisely planned marketing strategy, and I think it was beautifully done, and I think it was amazing, and I just love this guy. So basically, he was turning his customers into ambassadors. He didn't have to post brand ambassadors on Indeed. His fans did it for him, and he rewarded them for it. So here's another video of people posting him. It's the Climb Miley Cyrus voice. Yeah, she's amazing too. So yeah, free advertising from the community, just building up more awareness to people who maybe missed his video. I believe his video got about 8 million views in the first week, or maybe it was 4 million views. But let's go deeper into the more tactical things, okay? And that's what you all are here for. So let's talk about product-led growth. So if you buy a Joyride or go into Target and look at a Joyride package, you'll see that on the top corner in the back, there's a QR code. And not only is it there, he also informs people on this in the Joyride social media account. But there's a QR code, and if you scan the back of it and upload a photo of your receipt, it invites you to give feedback on your favorite flavors. And it also puts you in their SMS. Oh my gosh, that's actually just so amazing. Wow. It puts you in their SMS list, which, as a person that comes from a retention marketing background, focusing on email and SMS marketing, I think that's just, I just love it. So anyways, he puts them in their SMS list, which means he's owning the audience. So if his YouTube gets deleted, Instagram gets deleted, he can still text them and say, yo, go on our website. We just launched a new flavor. I love this. So anyways, he also told them that they should do this from social media, because how else would they know? Not everyone's looking for QR codes. That's another way that they can vote and they can be engaged. And now he owns his audience and he could talk to them for $0 without even posting a YouTube videos. So yeah, that's like the ultimate touch point, because you can have conversion rates of I've seen conversion rates of over 26% from SMS. I've seen 19%, 22%, 17%. SMS is so amazing, and I think it's great that he chose SMS over email. So that's called first party data. So he's not only going to have their phone number, but he's also going to see their favorite flavor. So that, guess what? When they restock D2C, they're going to text the person who said their favorite flavor was blue raspberry, and say, hey, we got blue raspberry bundle. Subscribe to get 10 every month or something like that, you know? So he doesn't even have to bother the people who maybe their favorite flavor was orange or something else. He's only going to talk to people who really want this flavor, so that people don't get burnt out from over messaging. Wow. I made this whole thing like 2 days ago, but me seeing it again, she's like, oh, I love it. So sorry for being weird, but yeah. So let's talk about why they chose Target. So even though D2C was most likely very successful, at the end of the day, there's 7 billion people in the world, like 300 million in America or something around there. And the candy industry still lives largely in brick and mortar stores, meaning at your gas stations, at your local convenience stores, at the large retail giants. They're right there by checkout or in the candy aisle. It's largely where people buy them, because it's $3. You don't really typically buy candy online, you know, especially for $25. So yeah, Target is where people make impulse purchases. So, and they also have foot traffic, meaning that, you know, I believe Ryan Trahan has about 14 million subscribers. Well, this gets him in touch with thousands of locations, meaning hundreds of thousands of people who don't even know his name will see his brand. So yeah, also, the reason why I wanted to tell you about Tom Merrick and Project 7 and that whole ordeal is because since that company was about already 14 years old when they reached out to Ryan, they definitely already had established relationships with Target. They were already in retail locations. This was a pretty successful company doing well. They weren't a small time company, they weren't the largest, but they were doing okay. So they already had established relationships with Target and other retail brands where they already have their candy in there. They know who to speak to if they want to put in more, which is great for Ryan because it gives him even more of a reason to not go off and develop his own candy on his own. Because what does this do? This means that he's going to earn revenue quicker. It makes time for go to market shorter and less stress, less money spent because you already have resources in place. They also already had a manufacturer. It's called a buying team, meaning that Target already had buyers that bought from Project 7 and knew Tyler. So I even went on LinkedIn. I did a lot of research for this video. Please subscribe. Add me on LinkedIn. It's in the description along with my newsletter. But so yeah, this is from 2 years ago. I know I'm weird, but Tyler Merrick was just basically at the bottom here, I think it is. He said, super excited and thankful for all retail partners and brokers that have supported this transition, along with all stakeholders. Meaning that the retail partners of Target, the brokers are actually people that we'll talk about it a little bit later, but I'll give you a little inside scoop. You can go directly to buyer and try to tell them all about your product, or you can go to a broker, tell them about your product, and have them go to many different buyers for you and handle all that back and forth to get your product in stores. So they delegated to a broker to get them inside of that retail partner, if that makes sense. But we'll talk about it a little deeper later. So this was a smooth path to get Joyride in Target. In recent years, Target also has been known to really embrace a lot of creator-led brands. A lot of different creators or smaller B-list celebrities are in Target. So people are expecting younger brands, Gen Z, millennial brands to be in there outside of just the typical 100-year-old brands. It's the climb. I gotta be strong. Joyride did really well. So by August of 2024, Joyride became actually number 5 in the candy brand in Target, meaning from that time frame that they were monitoring sales, whether it was weekly or monthly, they became the top 5 seller. And then I believe in February of 2025, they became number 3, and then number 2 shortly after that. And they were going neck to neck with Skittles and Starburst and Trolley and all these old candies that are full of even more junk. I tried to get in a little argument with this person here on LinkedIn. I will fill you in. He was basically hating on the success of Joyride. He said, "Yep, but nerds have lasted 30 years. Joyride will be worthless in less than 5." Who even? Can you provide more data, sir, on why you believe that? Like, why will their churn rate be high? Meaning, why will a large amount of people stop buying Joyride? Can you please provide more? So anyway, someone said brutal, and I just responded, right, what a hater. Add me on LinkedIn if you want to see me call more people a hater. So anyways, I said what I said. So anyways, as of 2025, they're number 2. Congratulations to the Joyride team. Let's talk about retail mechanics. This video is almost done, I promise. So, this is fun. So I'll be quick, don't worry, I just want to educate you. So some partnership mechanics. Basically, this is how it'll go for getting into Target. If you're looking to get your brand into Target and you've already got data, D2C, please just do that first. This is how you have leverage and better deals in life, is through content. There's really no other way. That's why I had to start this channel, so that when I'm negotiating with new clients that are creators, I can just point them to my educational videos. That's literally why I made this. So I believe in it, and I hope you do too. Start D2C and have your own audience. So first of all, this is how it would typically go. First, Target's candy buyers you'll have a meeting with them, and you'll provide them samples of your product. They'll taste test it, and you'll show them data from your D2C. You'll show them data from your social media accounts, meaning community engagement, how many people buy, repeat orders, the best flavors, things like that. All sales figures you want to show them. And then the second step, you're going into negotiation. You're talking about pricing, you're talking about location, you're talking about placement on the planogram, which we'll talk shortly, how many stores, how many flavors, things like that. And then after that, you're going to be going into more of an agreement stage, meaning, okay, we want to do this, but how much support are you going to give us, Target? Meaning, are you going to put some promotions on us? Are you going to get us higher on the shelves? Are we going to do some sort of incentive or discount for our shoppers for the first few weeks to sell through? So all of this, it might be new to someone like you, like a creator, or maybe you've never been into retail stores, and that's why a lot of brands go with brokers. If you want to get in contact with a broker, please just reach out to me on LinkedIn or Instagram. You can also join my newsletter where I'll be referencing some really great brokers in the industry for retail. But yeah, so basically, after all that gets said and done, and they say, yeah, let's do it, let's get into 1,300 stores, Joyride will need to handle the distribution. Distribution just means taking it from one place to another and eventually getting it down the line to the customer so they could put it in their mouth. So they would handle distribution to Target's warehouse. So basically, Target would eventually set up an initial planogram placement, meaning where on the shelf in the candy aisle will it be, or will it be in the checkout? And they'll monitor if it sells well, and based off of that placement, they'll switch some things up and they may reorder more. As you know, Joyride sold out, emptying the shelves. But emptying the shelves isn't really good for long because consumers might forget about you or not trust that you'll be there and they don't want to waste their time to do the drive. I believe that Joyride is a company that likes to use third parties. They use a broker, they used a brand team to help them with the packaging with Ryan Trahan, of course. I'm not taking that away from him. So I believe that they probably also used a contract candy manufacturer, meaning they might not have factories where they're making the candy. They might have manufacturers, these third-party companies making the candy on their behalf. Kind of like private labeling, white labeling, maybe not. I could be 100% wrong. I'm just saying that's how a lot of people do it. So once they sold out, they most likely had to scale up, meaning get more manufacturers, get a bigger manufacturer to fulfill both website and POs. A PO stands for a place order, meaning that once Target runs out, they're going to place or not place order, purchase order. They're going to place a PO before they run out, so they can have inventory at all times. By the way, Ryan, you all ran out of the gummy busters. I almost got it. I know it wasn't healthiest, but I told myself if I find the gummy busters, I'll get it. I didn't see it, so please get some more. Maybe I'll get it. So behind the scenes team, Tyler's still involved. He's definitely the operator. He's talking to the brokers. He's doing product development. He's taste testing, working with food scientists, working with distribution. Ryan is the creative. He's making the content. He's driving the traffic. He's engaging the people in the community. He's really the face of the brand. Then you're going to have a management team that orchestrates the deal, meaning that Tyler probably talked to the management team and the management team did the smaller details. You're going to have legal consultants in there, meaning when Ryan is doing a partnership with Joyride, when a creator wants to co-found or co-own or co-manufacture a brand, you want to have entertainment lawyers, you want to have creator lawyers that can really look and read through your partnership agreement and ensure that your IP, meaning Ryan Trahan's face, Ryan Trahan's name, is used well and looks good on the packaging or on the website. You want to have someone there legally to look at the equity and look at the terms and the clauses to make sure that everything's right. You want to have someone there looking at different insurance plans and coverages. And then the agency that I referenced earlier is called Bex. They did the rebrand and refresh of the packaging for Joyride. And then you're going to have your sales managers, your brokers talking to the retail team. Thank you all so much for sticking through. If you made it in this video this far, can you say retail? It goes like this. You go from development to pitching the product, securing the shelf space, getting it on the shelf, and then making sure it sells through. So those first few weeks really need to go good. So let's break it down for you, right? Let's say you're developing a product. It's called development and manufacturing. So first you need a product to sell, of course, which was Joyride. They developed this low candy sugar and they produced them at scale. But usually, like I said, people go through a manufacturer like a factory, unless they want to make it in their own commercial kitchen or factory. So, and then you have a broker, typically, unless you want to go direct to the retail partner. But, it's okay sometimes to delegate this because you're going to be working on 10 million things. So then you're going to get a broker, which is basically like an agent for your product. They already have connection with different categories inside of these retail partners. The broker talks to the buyer. So the retail giant, in this case, Target, they have category buyers. So in Ryan's case, it's a candy category buyer. They're on Target's team. Joyride's team hired a broker to speak to their category buyer and negotiate terms to get Joyride in shelves. So That's how that works. They're pitching for you. And then you have logistics and warehousing. Okay, they said yes. How do we get this in stores? So you're talking about routes, you're talking with logistics companies, you're putting products in packages and on pallets and then in semi trucks and taking to them to something called fulfillment center. Typically, if you're producing the candy, you'll have a fulfillment center where that's where it'll be housed until it's ready to go out to distribution centers. So let's say you're making candies at scale, but Target isn't ready for more yet in some locations. So it goes to the fulfillment center to make sure that maybe it's in a freezer or a fridge to stay good quality and to begin going in larger packages to go out to distribution centers. So this is an actual photo of, I believe it's Chicago, maybe, of their 1.4 million square foot distribution center. This is Target. This is how the product would look after you put it in like smaller packages, and then it goes in a bigger box, and then those bigger boxes go on pallets, and then there's like 30 boxes on a pallet. And this is called a pallet right here, this wood, and then they put it inside of a semi truck, and they take it to that would usually be done in the fulfillment center, and then that would be taken to the distribution center, and then the distribution center will distribute them to actual Target locations. This could take a few weeks, depending on demand, but this is an example of a woman actually stocking it. So basically, then you have distribution and merchandising. So after the deal, they send the product to Target, and Target basically says, okay, we need these pallets to go to this location, these pallets to go to that location. And by the way, these fulfillment centers are sending them out to different distribution centers across the country. So after the distribution center, they go into individual stores. Once they're at the store, you have someone like this lady, she's putting the Lego on there. She's called a merchandiser. And she's looking at the plano, which is the planogram, saying, okay, where does each product go? And so this merchandiser places it there, and each item, each candy will get a shelf tag, a pricing sticker, and any incentives like deals or discounts that are going on will be there. So yeah, like an end cap, for example. So then it's in stores, right? It's ready to go. So then what's next is continue marketing and the sell through, meaning that you want it to sell out. So then the stores can keep stocking up, meaning they go ahead and they call the distribution center saying, hey, let's get more product. And once the distribution center runs out, which you want to happen, they get the fulfillment center to send more. So yeah, that is how Ryan Trahan has made at least 24 million so far since launching Joyride about a little over a year ago. I believe that it is in the $24 million range because there's a different creator. I forgot his name, but he launched a candy brand called Sour Strips, and they got up to, I believe, number 3 in candy after their second year. And they released their numbers, and it was about 24 million, and they were number 3. And Ryan Trahan became number 2 with Joyride, so that means they would have had to at least surpass that revenue figure. So, and they also have D2C. So I'm assuming anywhere from 24 million to about 30 million. Shoot, I hope it's more. That'll be awesome. I'm happy for the guy. If you enjoyed this video, I have resources for you in the description below, and you might want to listen to this if you're a creator or if you help creators. My newsletter, the Creator Revenue Report, is going to teach you about things like this. How to actually, it goes deeper into how to actually develop the product, how to market it, how to talk to brokers. It goes actually into newsletter building, how to monetize a newsletter. Everything revolving around creators making revenue, you'll learn it there. And I'm growing, so please give suggestions, comment on this video anywhere, any way I can improve, and I will. Also, I'm giving out a free profit and loss spreadsheet. So basically, it helps you track how much revenue you're making, how much are your expenses, and how much you lost, and how much you profited. In a very easy way, I built it so that you get a trending graphic on each tab so that you can see which month is doing good, which month is doing bad automatically without looking at the numbers. Also, if you'd like to make a newsletter, I am partnered with Beehive, so if you would like to support this channel, if you appreciated this video, the best thing you can do right now is to create your newsletter so you can own your audience in case anything ever got deleted or hacked or banned. So make a newsletter with my link down below in the description. Connect with me on LinkedIn if you have any questions, and we will be in touch. Stay stay in touch for the next video, and I hope to see you all again.